Alright, so here we are at problem 54, and this is another simplify each difference problem. And we remember that difference actually just means subtraction. So this is a subtraction problem, and you can see I've got one polynomial minus another polynomial. So this is a subtraction problem. With adding and subtracting polynomials, we're always going to do the same thing. We're going to combine like terms. Okay, we're going to combine like terms. So the first term in my first polynomial is a positive 5. Is there a like term to positive 5 in my second polynomial? Sure there is. There's another constant in my second polynomial. It's 1. 5 and 1 are like terms because they're both constants. Second term is a negative 5x squared. Sorry, that's x cubed. Negative 5x cubed. So minus 5x cubed. Is there a like term in my second polynomial? And sure enough, there is another x cubed term. It's positive 5x cubed this time. Positive 5x cubed. Now, this is a really interesting problem because it shows us what happens when you don't have matching like terms in both sides, in both polynomials. So I've got a negative 5x in my first polynomial, correct? Does that negative 5x have a like term in the second polynomial? It doesn't seem to. There's no term in the second polynomial that has x to the power of 1 like this negative 5x term does. So here's what I'm going to do about that. Since there's no like term to this negative 5x, I'm just going to leave the area below it blank. I'm not going to stack it with anything. Okay, now, do I have all my terms? Well, there's one term I still haven't accounted for in my second polynomial, and that's an x squared. There's an x squared term in my second polynomial. Does that have any like terms in the first polynomial? And I can clearly see it doesn't because I've already got all my terms in the first polynomial. And just to double check, yeah, none of those have an x squared in them. So there's no like terms. So I'm going to write that, I'm going to space that x squared out so that it's not stacked with any other term because there are no like terms for that polynomial. So now I have a difference problem. That's a subtraction problem. So I'm going to subtract. So there are no x squared terms in my first polynomial. So that can be written as 0x squared. What is 0x squared minus 1x squared? What's 0 minus 1? 0 minus 1 is negative 1x squared. So I've got negative 1x squared there. In my second column, I've got a negative 5x in the first polynomial, and I've got no matching like term in my second polynomial. And another way to just write that is 0x. I've got 0x in my second polynomial. So what happens when I take negative 5x and subtract 0 from that? Negative 5 minus 0 is still just negative 5x. In my third pair of like terms, I've got negative 5x cubed minus a 5x cubed. So I've got negative 5 minus 5. Negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10, and that is counting x cubed. So I've got negative 10x cubed. And then in my last pair of like terms, I've got positive 5 minus positive 1. 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is just 4. So here's my final answer is 4 minus 10x cubed minus 5x minus x squared. There's my final answer. And again, if you would prefer to distribute the minus sign into all of the terms in the second polynomial, just distribute that over to all the terms and change this to an addition problem, that's a fine thing to do too. That's another good way to get the right answer.